What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of iMythology. Woo! The show where we get higher than Snoop Dogg sitting in a car with Be Real. I get higher, yeah. Then Snoop Dogg sitting in a car with Be Real, and we tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Today, we are recording our 420 episode. Woo! Very special holiday for the most of ya.
This is a very non-420 story.
It is I picked a very non-420 story. I'm sorry, I got Gilgamesh kind of set in my head as like, I need to do the Epic of Gilgamesh. And then by the time I realized it was 420, I was like, oh, I already did the Epic of Gilgamesh. No time to switch to a 420 story.
Nope.
Yeah.
Could have done one at least about leprechauns or something.
Leprechauns or fucking
maybe
Kaya.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
He'll get better with the fucking...
With the holidays. Yeah. You never know. You never know. We can always hope.
That's what happens when you're off for 5 months, right?
Yeah, exactly. I forget what days are days.
You forget every day.
I forget every day. Living that unemployed life. Yeah. Today, as I was saying, we will be bringing you the Epic of Gilgamesh. The hella Epic of Gilgamesh, y'all. It's the OG epic. Pretty much the first real, story known to man as far as time goes. I believe it was 4,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Or no, not 4,000 years ago, 4,000 BC.
Ew.
That they found that they got the tablets, did the tablets.
Ew.
Babylon was a new thing. It's so old that it's that newfangled town Babylon coming up on the rise. But it's pretty epic. If you haven't heard it before, it's got a lot of spin-offs. A lot of things spun off from the Gilgamesh. So nice. I'm sure people will catch some of the references here. Yeah. So without further ado, go ahead and take it away there, Kimbo.
See, our story starts in ancient Sumer.
Sumeria.
I thought you just forgot to add an extra N.
In ancient Sumer.
When the gods came together to create the perfect man.
Yeah.
I wish. First, the gods sculpted a perfect body.
Yeah.
8-pack.
Chiseled out of clay or rock or whatever it was they chiseled him out of.
It's like a Middle Eastern Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. You want me
Shamash,
to put the hammer down?
Shamash, the glorious sun, endowed him with great beauty. And Adad, the god of storms, endowed him with great courage. He was 2/3 god and 1/3 man.
Yeah. They get crazy into their math on some of these too. I was even reading one thing where someone was pointing out, in the original, he's actually 3/5 God.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, wow, they break it down to fifths?
Wow. So he built a great walled city called Uruk. And it was an awesome and beautiful city with glorious walls and gardens.
Yeah.
Which he would rule over as king.
Of course.
There was a little problem.
Just a little tiny problem.
Gilgamesh was the ultimate frat bro.
Yeah, bro!
PC. His hands were unmatched, and he knew that because
you want to throw hands?
He fought and beat every man in Uruk. Worse yet, his raging
libido.
Lambado. He went around banging every woman in Uruk.
Yeah. Every woman.
Every woman, every sheep, every cow, you name it.
Yeah. And he wasn't even nice about it. He'd be like, but I have a husband. Yeah? What's up? Your husband want to fucking throw?
Young, old, it didn't matter.
No.
Grandma, back off.
Yeah. Why don't you
married,
come over here?
Even married. So what?
Yeah.
He would kick in your door, beat the shit out of your husband, and then take the woman.
Mm-hmm.
He was really big on the whole...
Prima nocta.
Prima-nocta.
Yeah.
Thing.
That's he started it actually, being that this is the oldest story.
Fuck is a prima-nocta?
The rule of prima nocta said that basically a king could claim the right to have the first bedding with any woman. So basically, if you were going to get
Nasty.
married and you've been saving yourself for your husband, because that's how they did it back in those days, like, we're not going to, no one's going to touch you until we're married. On the wedding night, he could claim that right, walk in, kick in your door, and have sex with your wife before you're allowed to. And if you said anything, like I said, like it said, he was a frat bro. He just beat your ass. You want to throw? No. You're 2/3 God, man.
So his people were pissed, clearly. And they laminated the gods. Lamented.
They laminated the gods.
The townsfolk who were crying.
Guys, I'm not trying to be picky or anything, but this dude's supposed to be our shepherd, and he keeps killing all the young men and fucking the ladies. Can you do something?
Anu, the chief god of Uruk, and root of a million shaky hair.
George Sukalov's theories.
I don't know who that is.
He's the ancient alien guy.
Of course I don't know who he is.
Anu, see, you could tell right here from the scriptures that Anu was clearly an alien.
So his theory, he heard their plea and he called on Aruru, the goddess of creation. Anu said, after he took a bong rip.
That guy you made is being a total douche. Make another to whoop his ass.
So Aruru wasted no time in creating an equal to Gilgamesh. She took a piece of clay and dropped it into the wilderness, and it was given the essence of the war god. What was that? Ninurta?
Yeah.
Ninurta.
Ninurta.
And
Naruto.
It shaped him into a rugged man. He had long, wavy hair and thick, nasty body mane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they make a big point to talk about that too, like the big difference between him and Gilgamesh. It's like, but he had hair from his chest all the way down to his balls.
Wow, stinky balls guaranteed.
Thick. Yeah.
This creation was known as, what'd you call him?
Enkidu.
Enkidu. Oh my god,
Yeah.
the names.
The name.
The great man of the woods. Boom. He lived in the wilderness amongst the beasts and as one of them. One day, a trapper was out in the woods and he saw a Enkidu at a watering hole getting a drink.
It's just gotta be
How did
so
you know
scary.
that was a man? Because he bent over and just saw his balls.
I imagine he's probably just standing there, just fucking butt ass naked, ball fro, just thick mane, just standing there sipping water.
It must have covered everything.
Yeah, just looking at the hunter.
The trapper was terrified of the wild man and ran back to his cabin to hide. While he was back in his cabin, he realized that the reason he hadn't been catching anything wasn't because of his shitty trapping skills, but because Enkidu, was breaking all of his traps. He decided to go to Gilgamesh and ask for some advice. Gilgils told him to set up a honey trap at the watering hole. And once he had truly become a man, the animals would abandon him. Oh, a honey trap.
Yeah,
okay.
Not a literal honey trap, but a figurative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wild man surely couldn't resist. So the trapper went to the local brothel and talked one of the ladies into coming out to the farm.
Yeah.
Once she was there, she stripped naked and waited by the watering hole for Enkidu.
Enkidu.
I'm having such a hard time. Sorry.
It's spelled so weird.
He looked at the naked lady, waving him over, and couldn't resist. Shocker.
Come here, honey.
Show her the shocker.
Show her the shocker.
They spent 6 days fucking by the water's edge.
Yep.
Enkidu had totally forgotten about his friends in the wild.
Oh, fuck.
And on the 7th day, he went back to them in the wilds. The animals were disgusted by his smell. The stench of 6 whole days.
Yeah. Plus all that extra
It's like
fucking
dried
ball.
dried in there. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. They ran from him. And although he tried to give chase, his legs were too weak from all the action.
I can't run right now, gazelle friends.
He was now a man and no longer a beast. Tell that to the pubic.
Oh, just a beast.
Becoming a man made him gain all of his intelligence of men.
Yeah.
And he came back to the prostitute, who was still by the water's edge, and sat at her feet. She spoke to him as she puffed on a cigarette. Lucky lady.
Listen, honey, you're a man now. Well, I guess you're more like a god in a rugged man's body. Look at that pubic mane. I don't even know why you would want to live with the gazelles and shit. I mean, in the city of Uruk, there's a really weird douchey king that you should totally go kick his ass or something. I mean, oh yeah, he's also super strong, so I guess beef up, do a couple of sit-ups or something.
Hearing her, he was excited, excuse me. The idea of meeting someone as strong as he thrilled him. He secretly wanted a friend. So he told the prostitute,
Come, woman, take me to that temple, to the house of Anu and Ishtar, to the place where Gilgamesh lords over his people. I will challenge him boldly. I will cry out aloud in Uruk, I am the strongest here. I have come to challenge this order. I am he who was born in the hills. I am he with the greatest pubes.
wow. Wow. She was excited to hear him agree so quickly. She told him that she would take him to Gilgamesh, but warned.
All right, I'll take you, but be warned. He's got balls like a pendulum on a grandfather's clock. And he's much stronger than you, so I probably wouldn't go around boasting. Oh, wow.
So that night, Gilgamesh had some fucked up dreams that he told to his mother.
I had a dream that there was like this golden meteor that fucking fell down from the sky. And I think like from the stars and shit. And I fucking loved it. I mean like a woman loved it. Like, I fucked that rock, Mom.
Wow.
Then I brought it to you and you're totally like, yo, that fucking rock's your brother now.
Oh. Wow.
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 His mother explained to him that the rock in his dream was her other son, the wild man, Enkidu.
Enkidu.
And that he would be Gilgamesh's greatest champion in life. Companion.
Companion.
Oh, shit. Companion in life.
Greatest
Gilgamesh then went
life.
around telling his dream to the prostitutes, hoping it would get back to Enkidu.
Enkidu.
Meanwhile, back at the watering hole, the prostitute convinced Enkidu to give up his wild style and to come live with the shepherds. She made him clothes and taught him to eat and drink like a human. He brushed out his hair and oiled it up.
Mm-hmm. Now he's got an oily pubic mane.
Ew, fuck. He took over watching out for the shepherds, killing wolves and lions to protect the sheep thief. One day, a man came to the farm and told them of another dick move. From Gilgamesh.
Good pause there. Told them of another dick move.
He told them how even on his own wedding night with the goddess of love, he went into another's house and took the man's new wife before he could. Apparently, that was a regular thing kings used to do.
Yeah.
Like for thousands of years.
Yeah. Prima knocked up in this motherfucker.
Nasty.
They even make a joke about it
Yeah,
in
he's gonna have like fucking STDs.
yeah.
And shit. He's still a third human.
Yeah, he's still a third susceptible to herpes.
That's how syphilis came in.
That's how syphilis started. I got the Gilgamesh itch.
Now she can't even have kids.
Yeah. Well, the Gilgamesh itch is way better than the Enkidu rash.
Ooh. Hearing this, Enkidu was pissed. He went to Uruk and started talking mad shit. When people saw him, they found him terrifying. But they knew who he was, and that Gilgamesh had finally met his match.
Finally, he met his match.
Enkidu caught Gilgils on his way to a midnight booty call and put his foot down to block him.
Yeah.
Oh, put out his foot to block him.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Put it down.
That set it off. The two of them tossed each other about and breaking the house they were fighting in.
Yeah. Whoever the booty call was, I feel bad for them because their house got destroyed.
Yeah. They fought their way into the middle of the street, evenly matched, blow for blow. And then Gilgamesh got the upper hand. He planted a knee and a hip toss and hip tossed Enkidu onto the ground.
Enkidu.
And then Enkidu was done fighting. He told Gilgamesh,
"There has never been another like you." That's it. I almost wrote the whole thing, but then I realized like he literally goes on for like just a minute and a half, just admiring everything. Yeah. No man has ever had pecs like that, glistening in the sun, the glorious grace of the sun.
I thought it was a midnight booty call, so it would
midnight
be
booty in the moonlight.
Gilgamesh was easily swayed by his compliment and then spoke.
Bro, did we just become best friends?
And like that, the original bromance began. Their friendship was the stuff of legends, literally.
This one.
Enkidu told Gilgamesh that he was destined for great things, but he was not destined for immortality. An idea that would haunt Gilgamesh for the rest of his story.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh decided to play on his destiny and do something that had been thought to be impossible. They would go to the great cedar forest where no man had gone before them and erect a temple to the gods.
Yeah. And I found out the cedar forest, which was called, I think it was called like the land of the living people or something like that. But it was Lebanon. It was supposed to be Lebanon.
Land of the living people.
It was something like that.
All right. Well, the problem was that this was no ordinary cedar forest. It was guarded by the Humbaba.
Humbaba.
The great and terrifying giant. Always a giant.
Always a giant guarding some shit.
It was said that his roar was as powerful as a raging storm, and his breath was like fire, and his jaws were death itself. The forest was also 10,000 leagues in all directions.
That's a big forest. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Gilgamesh didn't give a shit. He wanted his name to live forever, even if he died. He knew that to fight Humbaba was to become a legend.
Ain't nobody fought Humbaba and lived.
Before he went, Enkidu asked that he go before Shamash, the sun god, and asked for permission. The cedar forest was his, and to enter without his permission was an insult to the god.
Yeah, you can't be insulting Shamash.
So Gillian swooped up 2 baby goats and took them to the temple of Shamash.
I was confused too because I was reading the old school version when I first got to that part, and it just says he picked up 2 kids, And it doesn't. Yeah, you picked up 2 kids to sacrifice, and I was like, "What the
What?
fuck?"
Didn't know we were into Aztecs already.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they talk about it like one was spotted and the other had just started to get a horn. Like, oh, they're goats.
Goat kids, got
Yeah,
you.
they're baby goats.
He sacrificed the ghosts and then begged for the rite of passage.
Bah.
At first, Shamash didn't want to hear it, but after Gilgamesh started to cry, he relented. Oh, baby.
I want to go, though. I want to go to the forest.
He offered Gilgamesh
down
all
the
of the
cage.
support he could give, namely the aid of the 4 winds
The 4 winds will aid you.
and the great warriors.
And the great warriors.
Gilligans then had the smiths forge him a legendary weapon. How do you know that these smiths are like legendary?
Yeah. Well, because they
craftsmanship?
give them names.
Oh, a name.
I mean, that's the only way that I figured. And also that's what they say.
Wow.
So I guess it's all hearsay. It could be just like the smith trying to sell himself. He's the one writing the story. Say it was a legendary smith and give that axe a name.
Wow. He was given the axe named the Might of Heroes.
The might of heroes.
As well as the bow of
Anshan.
Anshan. They all got fine armor and set out on their quest to go to the cedar forest.
Yeah.
Tongue-tied myself.
The tongue gets tied.
Again, he was warned about Humbaba.
Baba.
But again, he blew it off.
Fuck that.
Next, he talked with the townspeople and even a goddess. None wanted to go with him on his quest, but he had it in his heart. He did receive a warning from the goddess to dig a fresh well every day and always refill his water.
Always refill your water
Simply-
from a fresh well.
Simply good advice in general, I would say.
Shemish.
More sacrifices were made to Shamash, and he was asked again to watch over Gilgamesh. Finally, they were armed and armored and able to leave on their quest. They traveled for many days, far and across many mountains to get to the land of Humbaba. Finally, they reached the gates of the forest. Enkidu opened the gates, then warned Gilgamesh.
Do not go down into the forest. When I touched the gate, my hand got weak. It is some sort of foul magic. Bum, bum, bum.
Wow. I hope y'all didn't see that. To which Gilgamesh replied,
Oh, is somebody scared? Come on, bro. Don't be a bitch. If it makes you feel better, you can hide behind me, bro.
Together they descended into the forest until they came to the Green Mountain. They were taken back by the size of the forest. They saw the large trees stretching up to the sky, and they saw the path of Humbaba, large and clear.
Humbaba!
Can't miss that shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
This was the dwelling place of the gods and their throne of Ishtar.
Ishtar!
The throne of Ishtar. I see.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to make camp for the night. Gilgamesh dug a well and filled his water, and then offered grain to the mountain, asking for dreams to come to him. That night, he woke up at midnight and told Enkidu of his dream. He dreamt of fighting a bull that kicked up so much dust that it darkened the sky, and he was beaten until he was refreshed by water from the water skin. Enkidu explained that the bull is Shemish, and he would watch over them on their journey, and that the water came from another god, Gilgamesh's own god, his Lugalbanda.
Yeah. That was some deep shit. That just pops up a couple times. I think it means his like divine father or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He also had another dream of them fighting a mountain, which Enkidu had said that it meant that they would beat Humbaba.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting too, because
dream
Enkidu's dream interpretation seems so horrible
Weird.
because both of the dreams seem like when they come, it's like, that's a horrible dream of you getting beat. And Enkidu hears it and he's like, no, that's good. That's good. When the mountain fell on top of you, it meant, I think we're going to win. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
The next day, they traveled again, and when it came time to make camp, Gilgils dug a well. He went to the mountain and asked for dreams for Enkidu, and again it was delivered. Except they were more like nightmares.
Poor Enkidu. He didn't even ask for the dreams. Gilgamesh is just like, at this time, give dreams to Enkidu. Let's fuck with him.
He dreamt of fire raining from the sky, of the clouds raining down death, and darkness taking over. They went back down the mountain and talked about what to do. But before they could have the talk, Gilgil made his move. He picked up his axe and went straight for one of the giant trees, chopping it down. Humbaba heard the tree fall and rushed them. Instantly, Gilgamesh felt weak, almost as if he were asleep. Enkidu yelled at him and shook him, but nothing would wake him. Nothing except an epic speech from his broham.
Yeah, I do love that too, where it's, like, we tried this and this and this, and then all it took was an epic speech from Enkidu. O Gilgamesh, lord of the plains of Galeb, the world grows dark, shadows spread over it, and now is the glimmer of dust. Shemesh has laid his head in the bosom of his mother Ningal. O Gilgamesh, how long will you sleep? Never let the mother who gave you birth be forced to mourn in the city square.
Hearing that, Gilgamesh was up and awake.
Huh? What? You talking about my mom?
He strapped up with his weapons and armor, and then he got a low, wide stance like he was ready for war, and yelled out.
Bro, by the life of my mother, Nasun, who gave me birth, and by the life of my fucking father, Divine Lugal Banda, let me be the baddest motherfucker who's ever lived! Oh! You want to throw hands?
We'll fight.
We'll fight. Come on, bro.
Humbaba came rushing at them as Gilgamesh turned to fight Enkidu. As Gilgamesh turned to fight Enkidu? Pray to Shemesh.
I guess I missed a comment there. As Gilgamesh turned to fight, Enkidu prayed to Shemesh to help them.
Okay. Shemesh came through and hit Humbaba with 5 storms, weakening and stunning him. Zeus-like.
Storm, motherfucker!
With him, stunned Gilgamesh, and Enkidu moved in and laid down a beating.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom.
Pa, 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 pa.
Once Humbaba was beaten, he begged for mercy. He offered everything from the tree services to being Gil's best buddy. Enkidu was smart, however, and pointed out the fact that Humbaba would for sure betray them. Humbaba, of course, comes back saying that he would be better off friend. He would be a better friend than Enkidu.
Yeah, it's funny kind of to me how he that's his move when he gets caught. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Don't kill me. I'm totally a better friend than Enkidu. We should hang out, bro.
Gilgils realizes that this is some serious bullshit, and before he goes to kill Humbaba, he has one last scare tactic. He tells them that he is the servant of Enlil, the god of earth, wind, and air.
Mm-hmm. And one of the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, the band.
Oh, no fire in there. And that Enlil outranks Shemesh.
Yeah, that's like pulling some god rank on him. Yeah, you're working with Shemesh, but my god outranks your god, so
it'd be unwise to kill him.
Yeah,
unwise.
You're gonna want to run this one up the ladder first.
Yeah. Realizing that Enlil could come for them at any time, they decided to hurry. They killed Humbaba.
Yeah.
Cut off his head. Chopped down the cedars.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta chop the trees down.
Sometimes you just have to
Sometimes you
chop them
just gotta
down.
chop the trees down. It's kind of funny too that was like seemed like the big part of his goal too. Like, no, we're just gonna go here and chop down all the fucking cedar in your forest.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
And they made a huge gate for the temple to the gods back in Uruk. So I guess Anil isn't as on it as they made him sound.
Yeah, because I mean, Humbaba really was like, you just wait. If you do anything, Anil's gonna fucking show up. And then they're like, oh well,
Let's see.
we killed you, and then we cut down half of the forest. We built a boat that took about a month. Yeah. We fashioned this really nice gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enkidu's been putting in a lot of work on this.
I didn't even mention the raft yet. Then they made a raft out of the cedar and sailed it back to Uruk. Nice, Dustin. You're breaking the rules.
Spoilers!
They go back to Uruk, and the town celebrates. Being all dirty from the road, Gilgamesh and Enkidu got cleaned up and threw on some fresh clothes.
I like to imagine Enkidu oiled his body hair again.
Fucking nasty. Maybe weave it into some nice braids.
Yeah. I'm going to need a 5-gallon bucket of extra virgin olive oil.
Fucking gnarly. And apparently Gilgil's was looking real nice because the goddess Ishtar came calling. She begs for Gilgamesh to be her husband, offering him everything imaginable. But he simply replies,
nah, girl.
it's my bro.
I saw how you acted with your last couple husbands. Plus, I'm like 80% sure I'm secretly gay for Enkidu. Don't tell anybody.
Wow.
I mean, they don't say it, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's his lover.
Which, in all fairness, it does sound like she treated her spouses like shit. But some of them seem to have deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more on her this week's Saturday Short.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
You'll get the whole Inanna.
And if you are either a fan of the American gods or the show, the Greek mythology, you may be intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to the epic at hand. Ishtar is pissed. She is not about to let a human deny her. So she goes to her daddy, and she asks her papa, Anu, to send a bull of heaven. A bull of heaven.
The bull of heaven. The bull of heaven.
El Toro.
Al Toro.
I don't know what heaven is in Spanish.
Send your murder bull.
What did you fucking say?
So, Dad, send your murder bull.
Oh, wow. Anu points out that Gilgamesh was kind of right, so he won't send the bull down from the sky. Also because that would kill a lot of people.
I like how her family even backs him. Like,
No.
he was very relevant. You need to start thinking about how you treat your husbands.
Mm-hmm.
But Dad.
Then Ishtar is even more pissed off from hearing that from her father and threatens to raise all of the dead and have them feast on the living. Yeah. Fucking zombie apocalypse threat. Yeah. Damn, lady.
That's the first zombie apocalypse mention ever, too. I bet no one expected that. Anu
tries to talk her down, but she was set in her ways, and he eventually relented. When the bull fell from the heavens, it opened up a crack in the earth and swallowed men. When it roared, more cracks opened up, and 200 more people were swallowed by earth. Yeah. The bull dropped the level of the
Euphrates.
And dried up all the marshes. The bull was on a warpath until Enkidu spotted it.
Enkidu!
He jumped on it and called out for his bro Gilgamesh, and once Gil joined the fight, it was on. Enkidu got a hold of the bull's tail, and then Gilgamesh got out his sword and stuck it with the killing blow. Once it was dead, Gilgamesh cut out its heart and offered it up as a sacrifice, saying,
"Woo, this bull's for you, Shamash!"
Seeing the bull slain, Ishtar was in full rage mode. She climbed on one of the walls and yelled down at them. Nice.
You ain't shit. Fuck both of you weak ass little bitch ass motherfuckers. Ah! Wow. Yeah, that was.
Hearing her swearing at them, Enkidu grabbed the hind quarter of the bull and threw it up, hitting Ishtar in the face.
Take that.
Ishtar ran away, and Gilgamesh gave Enkidu a solid high five. Ishtar and her followers went back to her temple to mourn and presumably put some ice on that bull slap.
You just got knocked the fuck out.
Boom, bitch.
Boom. Yeah, he did actually talk some shit like that too. That was kind of good at the OG stuff. Yeah. You have only got one, but it was like that old school style of talking shit, you know. You've only got what you deserve. Come here again, and I will do worse to you. Like, oh
shit. Gilgamesh claims that the bull's head. Claims the bull's head as his trophy.
Mine.
And then he and Enkidu bathed together in the Euphrates. They bathed together.
Yeah.
Clearly a bigger
Just a
bromance
couple of
happening.
bros. Boop, 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 boop.
After they're all clean,
in the river.
They decided to parade the bull's head around the city, proclaiming their victory.
Check it out.
One would usually do in that time.
I just killed a fucking bull.
Boom.
Bull face.
Once they got back to the palace and settled down, Enkidu had a terrible dream. He dreamt that all the gods came together and decided his fate. Shamash.
So
that's the first time you actually used an A in there. It's always been an
Shamash.
E. That's why I was like Shemish.
Shamash.
Who had been their forever homies as far as gods go.
I've always liked them.
He pleaded, but Anu convinced the other gods that he had to be punished. He had been taken part in too many
atrocities.
Oh, yeah, okay. My eyes aren't doing so well.
Yeah.
Pretty late, anyway. He took wood from the sacred forest of the ancient aliens, and he helped kill the guardian Humbaba. And worst of all, he killed the heavenly bull. Oh, yeah. And assault on the god was a big one, too.
Yeah. You're not allowed to, apparently, it's not...
You can't throw
it's not cool to assault a god with a piece of bull and then tell him, get some, motherfucker.
Yeah. Enkidu knew that his vision was not just a vision, but it was also a warning from the gods that his time was up. Enkidu first goes to the great cedar gate that he had made for the temple and curses it, saying,
"Fuck you, gate."
Then in a rage, curses the farmer and the prostitute, saying,
"Fuck you, prostitute. I wish I still lived in the woods. Fuck you too, farmer. No real reason, just fuck you."
They reminded him,
"Don't be mad at us. Don't be mad at me, honey. Remember when I gave you my clothes back in the beginning of the story? Yeah, I'm bringing that back up. I'm rehashing that.
I'll make that shit for you, bitch."
Yeah, and if I didn't take you in, you would have never met a Gilgamesh, huh?
Enkidu feels like shit for his curses, and then totally does like a 180 and uncurses them, and offers a blessing instead.
Bless you. I apologize. Namaste.
Then he gets sick. While he is sick, he had a dream that he was drugged down to the underworld, which is described as a house of dust, where the dead feed on clay and are covered in bird feathers.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun place.
Wow. While they toil away, they are watched by some gnarly-ass demons.
Yeah.
Literally, one of them was fucking Pazuzu. From The Exorcist.
The fucking Exorcist movie.
Wow.
Which, stay away, Pazuzu.
Another cool factoid is about the death. The death believes is that they started the whole pour one out thing.
Yeah. And the pour one out for the dead, pour one out for your homies. That started
Yeah.
with them.
They believed that although the dead could only eat clay and drink dust, if you poured out a little drink in honor of the dead person, they can drink it in the afterlife.
Yeah.
So pour one out for your homies.
Yeah.
Your fallen
DMX
homies.
has so many fucking beverages right now. He is not going to need another
He's
beverage for a while, I assume.
At least 2 years.
I'll still pour one out for D, but I'm just saying.
Are you gonna?
Not right now. I mean, we're in a
Okay.
studio. You don't pour one out in a studio. Even DMX would appreciate that.
All right, getting back to Enkidu. After his nightmare, the sickness took him. He gradually got worse for 12 days, and then he died in Gilgamesh's arm. Before he died,
a fucking flu got me. What the fuck? I fought crazy monsters in a fucking flu?
they say that after his death, Gilgamesh held on to Enkidu, refusing to admit he was dead, until a maggot came out of his nose.
Yeah, it's some nasty shit.
Ew.
That's some real nasty shit.
Enkidu's death totally fucked Gilgamesh up. He gave his body the grandest of funerals and had the people build a big-ass statue in his honor.
Big
Then,
fucking statue.
He let his sadness overtake him. He traded in his fine robes for animal skins and then left to roam the wilds. Aww.
Yeah, to be a wild man, just like Enkidu. I need a minute.
We're going to pick up years later with Gilgamesh. Years later.
Years
After
later.
roaming the woods, he started to worry about his own mortality. So he decided to seek out a person called
Utnapishtim.
Wow.
Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim.
Na,
Da
na,
da da
na,
da da da
na,
da
to find out how to become immortal. Say it again.
Utnapishtim.
And his wife were survivors of the Great Flood and came out of it with immortality, but they would not be easy to find. His quest would take him far across the land, and on the road he would end up killing a whole pride of lions and wearing their skin.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Creepers.
Yeah, I like to imagine that he's wearing all of the lion skins, and he didn't like fashion a clever clothes out of it. He's just like walking around with a big fat beard and like 17 lion skins draped over him.
Just
This is the fashion now.
That's what we got.
I'm a wild man. Don't look at me.
That's what we got. Eventually, he would come to the mountains at the end of the world known as the Twin Peaks of Mount Mashu.
Mount Mashu.
The top of the mountains reaches into the heavens, and the base goes all the way down to the underworld.
Oh.
There, he was met by a scorpion man and woman who guarded a large gate.
Yeah. I gotta say, when I first heard the story too, as soon as I heard that, and he had to meet this scorpion man and woman in front of a gate, I'm like,
what?
Who's about to have to fight some fucking scorpions?
Nah, they just had pinchers.
They did the pinchers. They just want to talk.
They were practically lobster people too.
They're lobster. Why does everyone assume scorpion people are aggressive?
The giant scorpion man warns Gilgamesh of the dangers on this path in an attempt to dissuade him.
Dissuade.
You wrote that wrong.
Dissuade.
He explains that there is a tunnel that will lead to the land where
Utnapishtim
and his wife lived, but that no mortal could make the trip.
Yeah, no one can do it though.
There was no light in the tunnel, and it would take 12 double hours to complete.
You gotta move it. You gotta use double hours.
Also, if I'm interpreting this right, the tunnel is where the sun goes when it sets. So if you don't make the whole trip faster than the sun, you get burned alive.
Yeah.
The scorpion woman, however, was encouraging, and she let him through. Gilgamesh put the hustle on and made the journey, which he managed to do before the sun could catch up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Though it was hot on his tail.
Hot on his tail.
After he made it through, he came to the Garden of the Gods.
Yeah.
Also, you can find that in Colorado.
Yeah, we've got our own Garden of the Gods over here. Maybe that's where he came out.
The Vale.
Oh, bum, bum, bum.
You find that in Vale, Colorado, guys.
Vail,
by the way.
Colorado. Yeah.
I still haven't been that far north yet. I still got to visit. Anyway, a beautiful paradise where the jewels grow on trees and the sun never sets.
Mm-hmm.
Once he was there, he was approached by an alewife named Siduri.
Siduri.
She saw Gilgamesh and noticed his grizzly-like appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And she runs back to her bar and locks the door behind her. Oh, I guess she didn't like it.
Yeah.
She ain't from the Northwest. She don't understand.
Well, I mean, at that
That
point,
thing's
he
gonna keep you
probably
warm at
looks
night.
and smells really nasty. He's just coming out of a cave somewhere.
Just
Like,
throw some
oh my
perfume
God,
on
is
it.
he going to kill me?
Fuck it, throw some perfume on it. You're fine.
Yeah, throw some perfume on it.
Gilgamesh seeing that ran for the bar.
Yeah.
And started knocking on the door. The barmaid was terrified, and judging from his appearance, she thought for sure he was a serial killer. Until he announced himself.
Yo, it's me, Gilgamesh. Oh, wrong voice. Yo, it's me, Gilgamesh. Open up. I was sounding like Enkidu for a minute.
Yeah, he probably fucking rubbed off on him while he was out there.
I bet they rubbed off on each other.
Quite often.
Yeah, where's the... Wait.
Realizing he wasn't there to kill her, she let him in, offering him clothes and drinks. Gilgils wanted none of it, though. He was on a quest for immortality, and in his mind, everything else was just a distraction. He told Siduri that about his goals and asked where to find
Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim.
I'm not going to get that right. I'm
Da, da,
sorry.
da, 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 da.
She explains to him that his journey is far from over. Not only must he cross the Great Sea to get to the island of,
Utnapishtim.
but the water is instant death for anyone who touches it. Gilgils was not about to be dissuaded,
Dissuaded.
though he demanded to know how to get across. The barmaid, realizing he would not relent, pointing him towards the house of Ushinabi.
Ushnabe.
Ushnabi,
The ferryman.
the fireman. On his way, Gilgamesh came across a gang of stone golems, which he quickly smashed.
Smashed.
It
It doesn't even say whether or not they were alive.
How does he even know? that
He's
they were
just like,
golems? They're like, this is a rock
like,
formation.
the fucking stone golems, kill them.
It'll be great for my epic tale.
I'm an epic warrior. I must kill these.
Finally, he had made it to the ferryman's house. He went in and asked for a trip across the water. Urshanabi was completely willing to give him a boat ride, except for one little problem.
Somebody killed all my golems.
His gang of protector golems had just been destroyed. Without the help of the golems, they would have to use another means of protection. So, Urshanabi instructed Gilgamesh to cut down 120 trees to make into poles, so that they would cover the poles in pitch and rings to make them out of, turning them into punting poles.
Punting poles.
Punting poles. Wow.
Yeah. Which,
Interesting.
yeah.
Kind of like at the Italians
yeah,
and their shit.
Yeah, the I think. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't research punting poles before this episode.
Gilgamesh does as he is told, and then they set off on their journey. They traveled for 2 days and made the distance that it would take any other boat 2 months.
Again, I think that's the boat maker rewriting the story to get his ad in.
Mm-hmm.
But they used a Boatman brand boat, and they made it across in 2 days.
On the last leg of the journey, Gilgamesh used the poles and finally makes it to the islands. Once he gets there, he meets an old man sitting on the sand. He tells the man why he is there and what he seeks. The man, however, is unsympathetic and reprimands Gilgamesh, saying,
Immortality? Ha! That's a fool's game. Death's inevitability is what gives life its splendor. Fighting your fate diminishes life joys.
Hearing the way this old man spoke, he realized that he had to be the immortal.
Utnapishtim.
And Gilgamesh was amazed that his ancient immortality being looked just like a regular man.
Just a regular old dude.
So he asked him
I'm
how it
immortal.
was that he had gained immortality. Utnapishtim
Utnapishtim. Oh, it's going to be a
Explains.
lot in this one, I think.
that long ago he was the king of a great city on the bank of the what do we call that?
Euphrates.
The Euphrates. Sorry.
Yeah.
The spelling's really fucking odd to me.
Yeah.
The gods all got together to talk about how some humans needed to be punished. Enli, one of the gods decrees that the punishment will be a great flood that washes over the earth.
Yeah.
Hearing
Flood
this,
of motherfuckers.
hearing this upset most of the gods, but they couldn't stand against Enli.
Mm-hmm.
Before the flood, the god Inky snuck down to the surface to talk to one of his favorite humans. He warned
Utnapishtim.
of the great flood that was to come, and then told him how to build a giant boat with 6 floors.
Mm-hmm.
On that boat, he was to bring his family, as well as any workers that wanted on, and he was also told to get 2 of every animal that walks the earth and bring them on his boat.
Sound familiar?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Noah's Ark, sorry. Somehow he got them all on board before the flood, and when the waters came, they floated on top. The storm lasted for 6 days until it broke, and on the 7th day,
Utnapishtim.
released a dove. That is very similar.
Yeah.
The dove flew away and then came back, and the next day he released a swallow. The swallow flew looking for land, but came back shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following day,
Utnapishtim.
released a raven. The raven flew away and never came back, signaling that the land was near. Eventually, the boat came to rest in a mountain. And after they landed, Utnapishtim called on the gods. Most of the gods were upset at how the flood turned out. Ishtar couldn't stop crying because of all the lives lost.
It sounds like she was generally super
to.
scarred by that event.
She was trying to kill them all.
She loved
She
all
didn't
the
give a fuck.
people. She's a goddess of fertility. And she just watched every human being get drowned and they turned to clay too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Most of the gods, it was. When Enli shows up, he is pissed off to see any survivors.
Yeah.
Seeing Enli, Utnapishtim instantly calls him out for using a disproportionate amount of force.
What the fuck, dude?
Pointing out that a plague could have killed the wicked while sparing the good.
He gives him 3 or 4 other options, dude. He literally goes down the list. A plague. You could have picked who died. Wolves. You could have just had wolves come in the night and just
Maybe
take away
lions.
whoever's you don't like.
Bring back the dinosaur age.
Bring back the dinosaurs. Lions. I don't care.
But a flood was indiscriminate killing all of its path.
Mm-hmm.
Ishtar and Inky had his back on that blaming Enli for unnecessary killing. Enli eventually apologized and decided to grant
Utnapishtim
and his wife immortality for what they went through. That's it?
That's it.
Maybe they didn't want immortality. Have you thought about that? Shit.
My bad. You guys want to be immortal?
After telling Gilgamesh's story, Gilgils realizes immortality is not just something you can get, but still he pressures Utnapishtim.
You guys had to live through the apocalypse to get it? That sounds harder than I expected.
Eventually, growing tired of listening to Gilgamesh, Utnapishtim came up with a challenge to prove his point. He tells Gilgamesh to stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights. Gilgamesh tries, but horribly fails and does the opposite. He falls asleep and stays asleep for 6 days.
That's the part that I don't understand. It's like it's exactly the opposite. Like you have to stay awake for 6 days, and Gilgamesh is like, "Fuck it, no problem.
Sleep for
I
that
got
time.
this. I fucking got this." Just for 6 days.
That's me, dude.
Yeah.
Every day. Oh shit! I feel like I'm a little bit out. Every day that Gil was asleep, Utnapishtim and his wife baked a loaf of bread. And on the 6th day, when Gilgamesh woke, Utnapishtim
Utnapishtim.
came to tell him that he had been sleeping the whole time. Gilgamesh was pissed. He tried to lie, saying that he hadn't fallen asleep.
Nah, I just
Out of the way.
rested my eyes for a second.
That he was just resting his eyes. But Utnapishtim
Utnapishtim.
showed him all of the loaves of bread, and the oldest was moldy, while the newest was still fresh and hot. Gilgamesh was beat. The fucking liar.
It sounded like he had it all planned, too. Like he knew Gilgamesh was going to pull that shit, and he's like, no, honey, bake 6 loaves of bread, one every day that he's asleep, line them up.
So he knows.
Mark them with a calendar note and put a little "fuck you, Gilgamesh" at the bottom too.
Just go ahead and imprint your middle finger into that loaf. Just press it in.
Why does the last loaf look like it's flipping me off?
That's how he arranged them.
Yeah,
he arranged them in the order. They had him cleaned up and switched his old ragged animal hides for fine robes again. He was off to return home to Uruk. But before he left, Utnapishtim told him that a magic plant that grows at the bottom of the sea. Anyone who eats it will become young again.
Yeah.
So Gilgamesh.
I like how Utnapishtim too doesn't even just like tell him no, I won't make you immortal. He goes as far as to be like, nope, we're done here, and you're done on your little fucking quest. You're gonna clean up your shit, young man. You're gonna shower, and you're gonna go back to your fucking kingdom.
Just get the fuck out of here.
But first,
Gilgamesh went straight for the plant using his old rocks tied to your feet trick.
The old rocks tied to the feet trick. That's how I swim all the time.
After Gilgils got the plant, he decided to wait and tested on an old man back in Uruk first. One morning, on their trip back, Gilgamesh decides to bathe in a nice pond. While he was splashing around and washing off, a snake came from the bushes, and it went for the magical plant, gobbling it up. Then, as Gilgamesh was watching, it shed its skin and became young again. Gilgamesh's plans for immortality were done, so he went home with his tail tucked between his legs.
Ooh.
Because also the fucking flower was gone.
Yeah, they took his immortality flower.
Once he got back to Uruk, his mood instantly turned around. He had forgotten the beauty and awesomeness of his magnificent city, and he now knew the secret to life and was not to find immortality, but to enjoy the life you were living.
Yeah, that's the secret to life, folks. Old Gil found it out.
Damn.
Yeah. And I like how that's the whole moral of the story, too. It's like he went through all that shit to find immortality. And it's like the true moral is like, well, no, you should have just
enjoyed your life.
Been stoked. You had a pretty good life, too.
Yeah.
You should have been pretty stoked on that. And you shouldn't have been an asshole from the beginning, because you know.
Then you wouldn't have lost your bromance.
You were kind of an asshole. So
yeah. Don't be an asshole. Yeah. Someone just as strong as you will come along.
Yeah. That's
kick
the
your
message.
Fucking ass too.
Don't be an asshole.
Karens.
Karen.
Fucking Karens.
Well, thank you guys for listening. It's been fun, as always.
What's your reference?
My reference is the Epic of Gilgamesh, written by writer unknown on some goddamn stone tablets.
Just have to make sure we know that.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
All that
notify.
Stuff.
I'm even notified.
Yeah, get
Shit.
notified, motherfuckers.
It doesn't show up for like 3 days, so that's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you never know when the bell will ring or
Anyway.
for whom it tolls.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Brr.
Bye.